Okay, so if Peyton returned right now,
Mm-hmm.
if his big headed ass said, "Yo, I want to put on a Saints jersey," you gonna root for the Saints?
Nah, I'm not
Yeah,
fucking with him.
fuck what you go. Nah, I don't believe that.
I'm not
You
fucking
would
with him.
you wouldn't root for the Saints.
No, I will never root for the Saints. And as much as I respect Drew Brees and like Drew Brees, I will never cheer for the Saints. As much
What
as
do you
I
have
like what
against the
they doing
Saints?
on the field this year, I'm never
What
gonna root for them.
what do you have against the Saints?
History. It's all history, bro.
Okay,
Okay?
but you don't have a team. What did the Saints do to you?
They beat the Colts with that stupid ass onside kick back in what's it, 06?
Hmm.
In the
It's not a
Super
reason
Bowl,
to not like
Yeah.
them.
it was more than that. It was.
I mean, I'm just saying. I just remember that whole day. It was. I was in a house full of Saints. I'm cheering, everything going great, and then shit started going bad. It was it was a bad day. I don't
That
fuck
shit
with the
is
Saints.
annoying.
Yeah,
But you know what? The way you feel about okay, I get that. I get that. A fan base can make you dislike a team.
yeah.
I'm a strong believer in that. Remember that when we was working together, the security guard.
Yeah, that's why I can't fuck with the Falcons.
I fucking hate the Falcons.
I'm never gonna cheer for the
I can't-
Falcons.
Bro, you can't even have a decent football conversation with this guy.
Yeah, never gonna happen.
Like
Bro.
you like, yo, who's the best running back in the league right now? At the time when we was having this conversation, and I remember it so vividly, the motherfucker looked at me in the face with a dead face talking about Michael Turner. I said, what? Michael Turner, best running back in the league.
Yeah, that dude. Yeah,
I would say he was best, but he was balling back then. He was when he was with the
He said
Falcons.
best in the league. I don't think
He
so.
wasn't the best, but him and Warden were balling as a tandem.
Man, it's crazy how one person could
Nah,
turn
but
you
this
off
was-
completely to a whole city.
Yeah, this was at the end. This wasn't peak Michael Turner.
Yeah, no, this was
This was like 2012, the end of his career. You know, towards the end,
it
Michael
was,
Turner.
Oh, okay.
nah, bruh. But he just made you hate him. He made me hate him. I can't. And I already had a little thing against Atlanta anyway. He just solidified it for me. I was like, "Yep, no, I'm done. I'm done."
Yeah,
And,
My
and
worst
you,
time-
again, I just started feeling halfway decent with saying, you know what? I've been living in Atlanta for a long time. I could, home team. I guess. I don't know. Nah, you just reminded me of that. Done.
I'm gonna say one thing about the Atlanta teams, man. They just break your heart too much for you to believe in them. Like all of them, the baseball teams, football, everybody, they just let you down every damn time.
wait, that's part of being a fan. It's a roller coaster. Like that's the part of being a fan. Like it's not easy to root for a team.
Like that
It's not.
Super Bowl, there's no way in hell they should have lost that Super Bowl.
But they did, and they lost bad. Like I'll be honest with you, like that is normal. If you ever played a game and you get and you're up, you start to relax.
But
And that's what they did. They started to kind of relax, and then New England gradually got that momentum.
and that's my
back.
point. Like, okay, you're relaxed, but when you see them start coming back, that's when you pick the shit back up.
I think sometimes it's easier said than done, bro.
No, but you know what is easy? Making the right goddamn decision as a quarterback and a coach. That's what's easy.
Well, yeah, that third
That's
and
what
one.
you practice over and over.
There's no
They
way
make
in
some
hell.
bad decisions.
Why the
bro.
fuck will you throw it?
Bad decisions, man. Real bad. Anyway,
I mean, I get that to you, but you could say the same thing about Seattle. The year they were on the one.
yeah, bad
And
decisions.
Marshawn Lynch was averaging 5 yards a carry.
See,
Bad
they just
decision.
they outsmarted themselves on that play. Like they should just did what they knew was best to do, but they tried to outsmart them niggas.
Bunch of bad decisions, man. Like at the end of the day, coaches, you gotta live with it. Quarterbacks, you gotta live with the decisions that you make.
It's just like this fantasy. Like I tried it out. I guess I was smart myself. I picked up the Jets defense, thinking they were going to dominate the Bills, and they got their ass destroyed.
that's what's been happening over the last 2 weeks.
You should have picked up the Bill. I picked up the Bills defense.
See,
I
but-
got
We talked about that.
Pittsburgh, and I picked up the Bills defense because you knew Sam Darnold wasn't starting.
Yeah, but I thought fucking Barkley. When was the last time he played?
Right. Yeah. I didn't know what was going to
Yeah,
happen.
he was the quarterback for the Bills.
The new
The nigga from
quarterback for the Bills.
USC.
No, but see, I didn't. Man, okay, I see what you're saying. I just looked at it and me and Ahmad said this. I think like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Bills defense is very underrated.
Right. It's definitely an underrated defense. And going against the Jets, who they haven't been playing too well, they will probably shock some people. You know
I guess it was a toss-up.
You remember when the Patriots played them? I think it was last week. Patriots played the Bills. You think they was gonna go in there and destroy shit, and they held them down kind of.
Yeah, and what really made the key decision for me was the Jets letting Andrew Luck come back and beat them like he was flinging it on their secondary. Yeah. And I thought about that, and that's what made me not pick up new goddamn Jets.
Word. See, and I picked up New England defense because my defense is on the bye. I'm thinking, okay, they're about to go into Tennessee. Tennessee has been shit. You know, what are they? 50? They have 500 right now. But I just thought New England would come in, get up early on him, and force him into a position where he has to pass, and everything goes out the window. But they played well. I forgot that last week they pretty much started getting their offense together somewhat. Corey Davis is coming alive. Deion Lewis is giving them enough. They're putting in Henry in the right spots, even though he's not, like, fantasy-wise, I wouldn't pick up Henry at all. But
as far as touchdown or bust.
Yeah, as far as the offense, you know, getting their groove, they're starting to move in the right direction. I forgot about that. Just remember them being horrible and thinking that Tom Brady going to put them in a position where they got to, you know, play from behind, and it's just going to change the whole game plan. They're just going to start making mistakes. That didn't happen. They got up early and destroyed them. So my defense gave me 2 points. Killed me. Pissed off about that. But there's a lot of different surprises. Like, let's talk about this Falcons-Cleveland game. Who saw that coming?
I ain't gonna lie, and I called that shit Sunday. I told my wife that because you know she a Browns fan, and I was like, I said y'all might pick up that win because you got this dome team coming up to Cleveland. It's cold as hell right now, and Cleveland's defense is not a Cleveland past few years. Cleveland always had a decent defense,
right?
They're sneaky good. If you actually look at the stats, like Cleveland defenses, they have a top 10 defense.
This is true. Now, this is the other thing that I didn't consider, that they was playing in Cleveland. So that's why I really didn't see it. But if you would have thought about it, you got to realize this is that time where your dome teams that's normally playing in domes and stuff coming outside into uncomfortable weather makes a difference on how they perform. So, who's going to be more affected, Kansas City or the Rams going to Mexico?
But how's the weather going to be?
I don't know. It's Mexico, nigga.
It's Mexico. It's going to be hot. They close to the equator.
Well, they're both you. I guess the Rams will benefit more because they're used to the heat a little bit more.
I guess.
I don't think it's going to matter.
Nah, I think
they two outside teams. I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, it's an even playing field.
Like I said, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game anyway.
Yeah.
So everybody.
Absolutely.
But.
So you got any of them in your fantasy?
Start Brandon Cooks. Start Woods. If you're not starting Todd Gurley, you know something wrong with you. So,
God damn. Yo, so I gotta be honest for a second.
Yeah,
we talking football, we watching football, and Beretta, like I knew he was a decent running back because everybody was picking him up. But this is like my first game actually watching this fool play.
Yeah,
and he's nice.
Yeah,
like he got the patience when he allowed a hole to open, and then that explosion. Dude is nice, man.
Yeah, like that's like his main part. Like he's just fast. He's fast.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's fast, but he's patient too. Like that's why I was such a big Le'Veon Bell fan. And like that's why my son loved him so much, is because that patience in the backfield. You waiting on that hole to open. Right. And I just watched him do that and pick up that first down. That was a big play.
Well, did you just see Alfred Morris, the man, the myth, the legend?
Yeah.
Listen, if you got Alfred Morris, do not play him ever.
Even if he's your last option.
Don't put him in your league, Brian. Come on, man.
The only time you should be playing Alfred Morris is if you're going back in time to when the Redskins first drafted him and RG3. That's it. Like that. That was it, man. Like I don't know what happened to him.
Me neither, man. I don't know. I seen the decline. The only reason I'm even bringing his name up is because I told y'all I got auto drafted this season. And when I finally looked at my team after the auto draft, I was like, let me see who I got. I got Julio, Aaron Rodgers. Okay, just picking up the best player available at the time. That's crazy. And I look and I'm like, is that Alfred Morris? At what time was Alfred Morris the best player to pick up? Because that's what auto draft do. It picks up who's ever the best player at the time.
Well, they're going off the projections.
Off the rankings and projected.
Well, he was supposed to be the starter too, so that's probably why they gave you him.
That's exactly why.
I feel like the draft cheated me. I feel like whoever set up the draft had some sort of cheat going on.
You cheat, bro. That's why you don't auto draft.
Bro, I didn't mean to. I told you a mistake. But think about this. I had back-to-back picks. I just realized this in week 6. I went and looked, and I was like, hold up. I had back-to-back picks, and I still have this squad? How is it possible to have back-to-back picks and wind up with Alfred Morris and some whack receiver? I can't even remember.
You're in a 12-man league, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you got to think. So when you had those back-to-back picks, you went through 11 people, maybe even 12 picks before you was able to get back to where you were.
True.
That's the only thing I hate about those back-to-back picks.
Yeah, it's good to have it, but then it's so long before you get picked again.
Exactly. So there's so many players that's gone between your last pick and your next pick.
Right. I don't know. This will be a whole nother season. I don't think none of this struggling will be going on. I think everybody in my league is trash, and none of these struggles will be going on if I drafted. But, I guess I wanted to make it interesting for the 1,200 ducats. It is what it is. We here now.
Fuck that.
All right, what else going on in this fantasy world that people want to pay attention to, man? It's that time of the year where you got to consider conditions, outside versus inside, weather, stuff like that. It's snowing in some places. It's only going to get worse, man. It's November. It's getting colder and colder. When you talk about going up north to play in Minnesota, where they're in a dome, or if you're going to Green Bay, places like that, Cleveland is going to be a spot. It could change the tide. It can make a big difference versus the running game versus the passing game. They're going to run more in tougher weather. Passing is not going to be as prominent. So some running backs that wouldn't have scored as much might put up a little bit more points if it's a rough weather day because they don't want to pass. And then,
So what do y'all think about Aaron Jones from Green Bay?
I like Aaron Jones. He's stepping out to be the starter and the clear, best player. Last year he did the same thing. When he got his touches and he started becoming more consistent, getting his touches, he shined. He shined a lot, and he was really good. He was out earlier this year. Finally back, getting his groove 2 games in a row, and it's taking pressure off of Aaron Rodgers, number one. And he's eating right now because people still just worried about Aaron Rodgers, forgetting that he can't run the ball. I'm concerned that he won't have as many big games. But actually, no, I take that back. I think he will continue to have big games because you have to worry about Aaron Rodgers. So I think he's a good play. He's a good pickup if you got him. Play the man, Aaron Jones. He already proved to be a fantasy stud last year when they clicking on all cylinders. So I like him.
I agree, especially now since that backfield isn't as congested. So once Ty Montgomery took out that punt or that kick return out the end zone, and it cost Green Bay that game, and they traded his ass to Baltimore.
Yeah,
I would start Aaron Jones depending on he'd be guaranteed start depending on what your roster is looking like.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'll start him.
If you got 2 good running backs, I would put him in the flex. You know what I mean? Like, start all 3 of them.
All day. That's what got me. That Ty Montgomery got me nervous about him going to Baltimore. So I got Alex Collins, and that's when I'm considering about dropping Alex Collins and picking up Rashad Penny. But that depends on the seriousness of Chris Carson's injury. So when you talk about weather at this point, you do gotta look at the weather. Weather play like a really big factor, but also with that weather and this time of the year, a lot of injuries happening. So you got to kind of start. This is where you want to like scroll through or filter through your waiver wire and kind of get an idea on who's starting to kind of get a few more targets or getting a few more carries. Yeah. So right now for me, Rashad Penny's on my radar.